What's up with it? It's Ropa Ricch, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
Permanently scarred, if you can't tell, girl, I've been hurt inside. I'll find a way to keep getting paid and see my...
All right, y'all, we have the Ropa Ricch off the porch with us today. Now,
Sure.
I really like that. Let me see that ring. The
one?
one with your brand on it.
Right here?
Yeah. That is clean. You can hold that up in the camera, like, hold on. Now, you're actually a prominent, like, streetwear designer in this music stuff right now.
For sure. No,
So
that's
talk
cool.
to us about what that means to you.
Being like, what that mean to me, that just mean like, you feel me, like my vision come to life, like, you know what I'm saying? Everything I like vision when I was younger, all my like hard work is not coming to, you know what I'm saying, fruition. Like, I fuck with that like that. That's how it feel to me.
Now, before we get into how you got your career started, I do want to take it back to your Chicago roots. So talk to us about growing up in Chicago.
So, well, yeah, like growing up in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, everything was lit. Like, back then it was fun and shit. Like, motherfuckers, that's when like the kickback like era, everybody was having kickbacks. Like, it was cool, it was fun. So, growing up in that era was lit. Everybody had some shit going on. Like, 2012, everybody was like rapping for real. So, a couple of my homies was rapping and shit like that. Like, Chance the rapper and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying, as they blowing up, everybody like shit, everybody not rapping. So, you know, you just trying to find little shit to do to, you know what I'm saying, stay in the mix. So me, like, I really, like, when I'm forced to do the clothes shit, cause it's just like, I always having like, you know what I'm saying, swag and shit like that. So people just like, you should just do your own shit. I was like low-key reluctant for a little while. Like, I was just doing, you know what I'm saying, doing my own shit, wearing my own shit. Then I started seeing like people like, damn, like, what's that? Start asking shit like that. Like, you know, the demand started coming up.
Right.
So I'm like, I might as well like do this shit for real. So I just started printing my logo on like tees and just letting, you know what I'm saying, me and the guys started winning and shit. Then, you know what I'm saying, it just started spreading, like more people started wanting it, like different like high schools, like, you know what I'm saying, people like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, this what it is, like, this what I'm finna do.
Now, back then, you actually got to witness the whole like drill scene. So talk to us about like really growing up and witnessing that.
All right, so like 2012, like 2011, 2012, that's when like, you know what I'm saying, like Jacquees, like Dirt, you know what I'm saying, all of them started getting lit. So it's just like witnessing that, like you not in it, but it's like you around it, you seeing what's going on. So it's just like, it's lit, like it's a lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody around you involved and they trying to, people that you ain't, you know what I'm saying, new, people that you know that's not in it, they trying to jump in it just cause the music is like influencing. So it's like, that brought a lot of influence to everything and what everybody was doing. So yeah.
Now, fashion-wise, was there like a certain type of clothing that you would notice that the drill rappers would wear in Chicago?
I mean, it was like Trues, like, you feel me, ones, like Timbs, hoodies, shit like that, like regular shit, but like really, you could just go back to what all like Dirt Allen was wearing back then, and that's what it was, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they was like the face of the drill shit, so it's like whatever they was wearing, that's what motherfuckers would be wearing. But as far as like outside, even the drill era though, it's a store in Chicago, it's like a boutique called Leaders, and that's why I kind of like I'll start shopping there like young, so it's just like I been into fashion like young, started like shopping there and shit. Just going, even when I ain't had no money to like buy shit, I just go in there, be in there looking at shit. That shit always, you know what I'm saying, caught my eye. So even like, you know what I'm saying, Chief Keef, Dirt, all of them was wearing Leaders if you go back. So that's how you can, you know what I'm saying, put the picture to, you know what I'm saying, the face.
So before you jumped into fashion, what were you doing?
Shit, I was being a regular motherfucking teenager. I was being a regular teenager, like, you know what I'm saying, having fun, like, you feel me, with girls, doing shit like that. But I always been into like fashion, or like just even dressing, even before I had my brand, like I'll be waiting on the, you feel me, the Jordan releases, all that shit like that. So I just be wanting to get fly, be around some girls, have fun, females.
How did you know that you really had an eye for dressing and an eye for the way things go together as far as fashion?
Cause like You feel me? Like, I just know that shit. Like, I ain't trying to sound whatever, but like, you just knowing some shit go. And then when you wear it, like, you wear it and then you get the reaction. You know, like, yo, look, you young, you go around your little family, your aunties like, ooh, like, you look like, you know what I'm saying? So, your cousins and shit be complimenting you and shit like that.
Right.
So that's how you really know, like, you be putting that shit on. And then, like, time of high school, like, shit like that, like, you just go out, people always, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know for real. Like, just compliments and shit, like, people reactions and shit like that. But you ain't doing it for their reactions, but it's like you doing it because you like it, but that just come with it, that's extra. So you like, all right, bet, like, I know what I'm doing.
Now, you mentioned Chance the Rapper earlier, and I know he was one of the first to start, like, rocking your brand. So talk to us about that story.
Yeah, so, like, I grew up, like, on the Southside, like, Hyde Park or whatever. I got, like, a lot of mutual friends and shit like that. So, like, we used to be, like, kickbacks, little shit like that. You feel me? Fucking around downtown and shit like that. Like, I did his first, like, if you go back, I did his first mixtape merch, like 10 Day or some shit like that. Like, I did that. So, like, we been, you know, like, we been clicking, like, we been, you know what I'm saying, fucking with each other and shit like that. So I did that, and that was just some cool shit, like, you feel me, like, collabs, like, before collabs was collabs, like, we did that shit back then.
What
and, like,
year was that?
It's like 2012 or some shit like that.
Oh, shit.
Like 2011, 2012 or some shit like that. So yeah, we been fucking with each other.
Now, what would you say inspired you to pursue a career in fashion?
Just really, like, I like clothes, I like shopping, you feel me? I like shopping, so I'd be in the store, or like, I had some shoes, then that shit irritate me not finding nothing to go with it. So I was just like, shit, I just make my shit to go with it, you feel what I'm saying? Like, shit, this would be, or I'd be in the store, I look at some, I'd be like, damn, this should be raw if it had this on it, or, you feel me? So it's just like, nah, you just need to make your own shit, like, you feel me? That's what I thought in my head, like, shit, you just need to make your own shit.
So I do know that your first hustle in the fashion industry was selling hats wholesale. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, that's like, damn, like, that era, that snapback era, everybody was like, you feel me, on that snapback shit. So shit, really, I used to, me and my homie, like, back then, we used to, this one, Craigslist, like, was first, like before motherfucker knew what it was.
Yeah.
We was like, taking shit, like, selling it on Craigslist and shit like that. We young as hell, like, 12 years old, 13, meeting up with grown motherfuckers selling them shit on Craigslist. So, boom, so we was hustling like that. So I, like, had a little type of money, but like, I'm 13, like, 8th grade, I probably got like $650, like $700 to my name. But that's back then, you feel me? I feel like I'm super up. So I always had in my mindset, like, damn, I'm trying to flip this shit. Like, I'm trying to flip. And then that's the way everybody was like, you know, snapbacks and shit. So I literally just shit, like, sourced that shit, like, found out where they was selling wholesale snapbacks. I'm doing all this shit young as hell. Now this shit mind blowing, but back then I was just doing it because I'm like, I gotta make it happen. You feel me? So I hooked up with a little connect that was selling snapbacks for wholesale. Then I was selling them, like, for that price. Retail, like, you feel me, at school and shit like that. Like, me know motherfuckers doing that. So hell yeah.
What's the most that you made back then selling snapbacks?
Probably like 3,000, like 2,500 at one time, like, at one time.
Damn, did your mom ever be like, where is you getting this money from?
No, at first, yeah, but then, like, you feel me, she was saying, cause I'm like, meeting up with people, you feel me, they know what's going on. Like, I'm selling to my family, they support me and shit, so they buying them, you feel me, so she see it, so she, you feel me, more, like, proud of anything.
Now, what would you say really made you go all in with fashion?
Just that, like, I see that I could sell this, I could buy this at this, like, you feel me, put something extra on it and then sell it and come with a profit like that. That's what just made me like, all right. And it's like, people reactions, like, that shit be really motivating me.
Right.
You feel me, like, damn, y'all fuck with this shit for real. So, like, when I see that, I just feel like I could do anything.
Now we have to go into Richezza. So how exactly did that come about?
So Richezza, it means wealth in Italian. So, like, back then, probably, like, don't you know, like, them little high school trips, So I went to Italy or whatever like that. I just remember I was in Rome, like 15. I was just remember being out there, like seeing like, damn, this shit different. Like even the bums, like fresh as hell. Like this shit raw. Then you seeing like Louis on every corner, shit like that. So that shit inspired me for real though. Cause I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but whatever I do, like fashion wise, it's gonna be inspired by like Italy. Cause that shit, I remember that shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about.
What would you say your grind looked like starting out?
Shit, my grind started like, it's basically like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I started off with one hoodie, for real, like on some real shit, like one hoodie, one pair of sweatpants. This like back then, 2011, like I was just re-rocking that shit. Like I throw the hoodie on with some jeans, then I do the hoodie with the sweatpants first, and I do the hoodie with the jeans, then sweatpants with different shirts. So it's just like, just wearing that, you feel what I'm saying? Like just keep wearing that to little places and shit. People just like recognizing it, cause you feel me? I wasn't not know nobody. Like I was, you feel me? Like lit or whatever, like in high school and shit like that. So like that shit just spread, and then motherfuckers just keep seeing it. So like when I got some money to do some more shit, I just print it up. You feel me? Probably 3 or 5. You feel me? Like the guys win, like shit like that. So that shit really was just like a grind. Like it wasn't just no, alright, you got 10,000, 5,000 now, do it like that. Like hell no, I was shit starting like with one hoodie type shit.
So do you witness a lot of people come into the streetwear world and think it's really easy to just like print off shirts, sell them, and think that they're just gonna make money right away?
And hell yeah. Like everybody, like I feel like everybody feel like they could do that shit, but it's like that's kind of cool though, cause it's like if I make that shit look that easy, like that's low key good. Like I fuck with that shit. So yeah, like a lot of people be thinking that shit easy, but it's like I was saying, I started this shit like 2011, 2012, like 2022 now. So that's a solid ass 10 years. You know what I'm saying? People don't see that though. They just see like, feel me, all this shit. Like,
what really kept you motivated to keep going? Like you said, I remember when we talked, you said it took you like 10 years to like build it completely off the ground. So I really just want to know what really kept you motivated to stay consistent.
To be honest, like, it really like, don't you know when people be like, damn, I thought about quitting and shit like that. Like, it really wasn't no times where it's like, I feel like I ain't had nobody supporting me. As far as like, you feel me, people rocking with me, rocking with the brand, fucking with it, shit like that. So it was like, it wasn't hard to keep going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like, all right, they was always anticipating the next step, so that's what like kept motivating me. So I'm like, all right, like I'm not finna stop now. I got these people like anticipating my next move and shit like that, like waiting on me. So that shit made it like easy. That kept me motivated.
Now, what would you say is some advice that you would give to like up and coming designers who are having a hard time getting their name built up in the industry?
My advice was shit like work on perfecting your craft. Like don't be making shit like, don't make shit to where people, it might sound crazy, I'm trying to see how to put this. Like, don't just make shit for somebody else just to solely like it. Like, you gotta like that shit first, like, you feel me? Because when you like it first, you know everything that come with it, and you can always create that shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, perfect your craft and always like stay true to your shit, you know what I'm saying? Now when you get like bigger and shit, like when, you know what I'm saying, when you busting, that's when you could like, feel me, do that shit for like, yo, you know what I'm saying, consumers or whatever like that. But starting off, just stay true to yourself and like, you rock that shit yourself first. Like, you like it. You gotta like it enough to like really wear your shit, you know what I'm saying? So when you like it enough to wear it, you feel me, over promote it, and it's gonna be natural, it's gonna be genuine, and people gonna fuck with that. So you gotta always stay true to yourself and, you know what I'm saying, do that like that.
And what would you say is like a really big risk that you've had to take with Richezza?
Really, shit, investing in that shit for real.
Well, how much would you say you invested in your brand?
Well, for me, I feel like everything an investment, like,
yeah.
Like I try to do it like that though. I try to like, if I'm spending anything on anything, I try to look at that shit as an investment. Like, I'm finna take this PJ, but shit, I'm wearing Richezza while I'm taking this PJ, so that shit really an investment. So I look at shit like that. So shit, I done invested a lot down there.
Basically, what is the best way to market yourself as a streetwear designer?
It ain't just no one way. It depends on who you is. So it's
Right.
like, if I'm a skateboarder, you feel me, then I'ma be wearing my clothes, doing little tricks on skateboards, you know what I'm saying? If I'm a painter or something, I'm gonna be, you feel me, be painting shit with my clothes on. So it's like, it depends on who you is. That's why I say you gotta find your niche and perfect your craft, cause then after that, it's like, shit, you up, you know what I'm saying?
Now, in this new era, I know we talked earlier about how Virgil was really like the staple of combining like the streetwear with luxury brands. So I would like to ask your opinion, like, what do you feel about the current state of streetwear and how it is compared to the luxury brands now?
I feel like, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like it's getting closer to that. Like that's down there becoming a norm. Like if your shit ain't like this, your shit ain't it. Like your shit just look regular. So I feel like you feel me, streetwear, that shit going up. Like people's shit is starting to look like better and better. You know what I'm saying? So that's good.
Do you feel like Black designers kind of have a hard time crossing over into the luxury brands?
Yeah and no. Cause like, yeah, they have a hard time crossing over, but no, because shit, like really, like this industry is us. Like we creating this shit. Like we the culture, you know what I'm saying? And like we be supporting each other though. Like I be seeing a lot of people like Black people don't be supporting other Black. It's like, nah, we do though, cause I always see other, you feel me, like Black people fucking with my shit. So hell yeah, like I feel like it's cool.
Now, I do want to ask you, when it comes to your brand, how are you able to create the designs for it? Or what was the inspiration behind your designs?
It's different inspirations behind different designs, but like at first I started off like just having ideas and shit, cause I ain't go to school for like Photoshop, none of that.
Wow.
So at first I just used to like pay somebody to do it, like tell them my ideas like how I want it. But you know how that shit go, like you on other people's time, they don't get it right, then they send it, then you like, nah, then shit like that. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, fuck it. I bought a MacBook. I'm like, man, I'm finna teach myself this shit. This shit can't be that hard. So it's like for like summer, I just in the crib just learning that shit, like YouTube, like trying to do that shit for real. And I ain't mastered that shit, but I'm getting done what I need to get done on that shit. So yeah, that's how it came, like how I started doing that shit.
Wow. So I know I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying like doing it myself.
Now, outside of Chance the Rapper being one of the first to wear your brands, you've also had like Polo G, Gunna, Young Thug. So talk about how you were able to build that dynamic with him.
All right, so yeah, like Polo, he been, you feel me? Like I had reached out to him, you feel me? Like when he was like first, you know what I'm saying? Getting his shit out there and shit. I'm just like, shit, I fuck with your music and shit. Like I feel like, you feel me? That shit you will put this shit on, like that shit go hand in hand. And like shit, we just, you know what I'm saying, back and forth, developed a little relationship like that, like on some clothes type shit. So I just said he was rocking with me heavy and shit, so I just kept, you know what I'm saying, fucking with him. Like I fuck with me, you feel me? Shout out Jacquees, he be fucking with that shit too. But so when I came out here and shit, probably like 2013, cause I went to Clark and shit. So I came out here on the first day like orientation. A minute I got my shit on. Of course I got my shit on. So orientation, I got my shit on, whatever. So this dude came up to me like, damn, like Chance the Rapper be wearing that shit. I'm like, yeah.
Damn, so he was really like a staple for your shit. Like he was really wearing it.
Yeah, like you know, that's when he like 2012, like that's when he like really, you feel me, like blew up on some real shit. So he like, so a dude like he came like, damn, like I seen Chance the Rapper wearing that shit, and then this other nigga that he was with, shout out my homie Jaco, recipes Jaco, he like yeah, he like, this nigga make that in Chicago. My cousin be wearing that shit too. So I'm like, man, I make this my shit. Like, I make this shit.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. Then my homie Jaco, he like, you know my cousin. He like, you know my cousin. He started saying it. And I'm like, yeah, like that's my homie, bro. Like, so we instantly linked. Like that's Jaco, my homie. He passed and broke, but you know what I'm saying. That's Jacquees' cousin. So this the first day I even get on the campus. So you feel me? He like, man, my cousin Jacquees, like he singing shit, like you feel me? He wear that shit, like boom. So like then in like the next week. You feel me? He called Jacquees, like, man, fuck with this shit, whatever. Jacquees came, you feel me? He put that shit on, took a picture. So it's just like organic, really. Like all this shit happening organic. So that's how I linked with Jacquees. And then like fast forward, probably like 2 years later, like 2017, my homie, he was like a photographer. He a photographer, Vito. So shit, I was just dropping, you feel me? And that's why you gotta stay consistent, cause I'm just dropping shit Instagram, like, you feel me, staying consistent. He had hit me, this like, I think Complex kind of some shit like that. Or matter of fact, I hit him, then he like, shit, yeah, we gonna be out, he was a photographer for Thug. So he like, yeah, we gonna be out there, whatever. So I ain't like link up with him and shit like that for the con, I ain't even go to the Complex con shit. So fast forward like 2 or 3 months later, I had posted a jacket or some shit on Instagram. Then he hit me. He like shit. He hit me like shit. Hit me whenever you got some shit on hand, because you feel me, Thug trying to wear that shit. I call him like shit. I got some shit right now. So he like shit. Pull up. He like shit. Bring some shit for Gunna too. Now this early. This before
damn.
You feel me. This 2017. So he like shit. Bring some shit for Gunna too. So I'm like, I bet. I'm finna pull up. So I pulled up probably like 30 minutes after. Shit, I came in with some shit. Gunna, you feel me? I had met Gunna before I met Thug and shit. Thug was in the studio recording. I think Gunna was pulling up when I was pulling up. So you feel me? We linked. He chopped it up. He like, yeah, I fuck with your shit. So boom, I gave him like a little package and shit like that. And then I gave Thug some shit. I went in the room. He was telling me like, I'm showing him shit like, yeah, this shit hard. And I had went back in the little room or whatever, and then Vito had hit me like, nah, like he want this shit. It was some other shit that I been had, so that mean like they was like looking through that shit. So he want this shit. I'm like, I bet. I'm like, shit, I gotta make that shit. So I ain't gonna lie, I went back to the crib, like you feel me. You got one opportunity knock, you gotta, you feel me, jump on that shit. So I went back to the crib. Like I made that shit, I came back like an hour or two later. This like 3, 4 in the morning. I came like an hour or two later. I dropped that shit off, you feel me? Went back to the crib. The next morning, like 12 or 11 in the morning, I seen Thug on Instagram posting that shit. So everybody hit me and shit like, that shit cold, but hell yeah, like shit like that. And then, like we just kept locking in. Then like I think the day after that, like him and Gunna, like in the studio together with the same shit on. So it's like, you feel me? They was fucking with me since day one and shit. I fucked with them for that. Just kept building. And then at the end of that year, I wound up going on tour with Gunna and Travis Scott for Astroworld, and I did Gunna merch. I did Gunna merch for Astroworld. So hell yeah, just, you know what I'm saying? You gotta all this shit like genuine, like organic. So you just gotta stay consistent and keep building that shit up.
Now we're gonna ask, you got some crazy tour stories?
Man, nah, it was, you know how that shit go. Like it's some crazy stories. Like it's too many for real. But that was an experience though. Like I fuck with him for, you know what I'm saying, giving me that opportunity though, for real. Cause I learned a lot though. Not even just on some cool shit, like shit, like even just watching who buying the merch. Like me, I'm like, I be observing shit, so I'm watching who buying what color, what is hoodie. Like I'm just, you feel me, just paying attention to that shit. So, you feel me, Travis Scott shit was going crazy. I think he was making like not on no pocket shit, but just like 500K. He was selling like 500,000 a night each city on like tour merch.
Wow.
Like I'm looking at this shit like, damn.
Did you sell merch for the tour?
Like this had like them big ass tours, you know what I'm saying? Like big tours like that, they have people in each stadium that do it. Like they like whatever stadium it is, they got their own people that do it. So Like really my responsibility was to make sure they know how much I'm bringing in and make sure the numbers add up to what's coming out after
Right.
each show. So that's how you feel me, was seeing that shit, like damn, like he sold out, like that shit crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? I was just basically in charge of the merch and shit like that, like making sure the shit get back, you know what I'm saying? The numbers add up, shit like that.
Now, as a streetwear designer, do you have to deal with politics?
Like me, I don't gotta deal with nothing. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't gotta deal with that, but I guess like it's cool to deal with that shit. But like, politics as far as what though? Like,
I'm saying, like, you know,
Like,
how
just-
the music world, they got
Oh,
certain
yeah.
type of politics, but
Yeah.
like, you know, we don't really get an insight as much in the streetwear world. So like, what would you say are like the different type of politics that a streetwear designer would have to face?
like just being up under somebody or trying to like build this relationship with this person just so they could wear your shit. Like, I'm not like this should be organic. Like,
Right.
Like, I remember like I think you said this earlier. Like, well, God, like whatever meant is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I just go about shit. Like, I don't go out my way to try to build this relationship just for this purpose. Like, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you, and I fuck with who fuck with me. Like, I don't care if you A-list celebrity or D-list celebrity. Like, if you fuck with my shit, I'm gonna show you love in some type of way, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I avoid, like, dealing with politics and shit like that.
Now, what would you say would be like the pros and cons of being a streetwear designer?
The pros is like, you feel me, like the revenue, the profit of this shit, and like just having like a real support system to know like you got people behind you that believe in your vision and like, you know what I'm saying, fuck with your vision. The cons would be not having that, like not having nobody that fuck with your vision.
Right.
Not having motherfucker that believe in you and like, you feel me, that shit just failing. Like that's what I feel like what the cons would be. But yeah.
Now, when we talked earlier, you said that you took a little hiatus from designing. So talk to us about that and why you ended up taking a hiatus.
Yeah, like really like last, like 2021, I ain't really dropped shit. Cause I feel like and oversaturated with the shit that I was doing, like with my own shit, like.
Oh, were people like copying your designs?
I mean, like, yeah, like they was, and I only knew cause like I don't look for that shit. Like I get like 10 DMs a day of people sending other people shit, like, damn, they biting or like the whole love you dig. So I'm like, I ain't mad cause it's like, that's what I do it for. Like I made a wave, like I made a blueprint, like, so you can't get mad when people gonna follow a blueprint to a motherfucker that's successful.
Right.
But it's just like, keep that shit fun, like do it in your own way. But you know what I'm saying? That's really why I took a hiatus, cause it's like, I don't wanna get mixed in with everybody that's looking like me, you feel me? You feel me?
Right,
but at the end of the day, I was just plotting to like come up with some new shit and like, you feel me? I got that new shit, like, you feel me? I'm having like shoes and shit now and shit like that, so yeah. I don't think none of them doing like shoes and shit like that, but they will though. But you know who did it first though.
Right. I would say, like, you know, I see a lot of black designers getting their, just like their brands and like the way they design their clothes ripped off from like higher upper companies. So what's your opinion on that?
That shit be happening. Like, that shit bogus. Like, that shit ain't right. Like, at least fuck with them, do in some type of way. Like, you ain't gotta give them a job there, but like
Pay
do a
respect.
collab or like let them in on y'all next shit or something, like, you feel me? Like, cause y'all looking at that shit for sure.
Right.
Feel me?
Now, you mentioned you got the new stuff out, so talk to us about all the new things that you got going on.
Oh yeah, I'm having like shoes that's finna drop. Having more events, like more collabs, more pop-ups, you know what I'm saying? More pieces, all like, it's coming different. I'm not finna be doing the ordinary, like, you know what I'm saying? I took time out for a reason. Y'all finna see the reason why I took a little time out. So yeah.
Now, who are some other people that you would like to see in your clothing?
Other people, like LeBron James, you feel me? Like athlete, like he like, you know what I'm saying? And I see him like he be fucking with like black, you know what I'm saying? He pro-black and shit like that. Like I fuck with that. He ain't scared to speak on like, you know what I'm saying, topics and shit like that. But yeah, like LeBron, people like that. Like, yeah, like athletes and shit like that.
Now, what has been your inspiration for the new stuff that you're about to drop?
My inspiration be like, look, like I like to create content on my clothes that people could relate to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody probably ain't finna be relating to like being rich or being poor. Like they probably can't relate to that. But people always can relate to like emotion or like a way they felt, you know what I'm saying? So that be my like inspiration. Like a lot of the times I be wanting to tap into that, you know what I'm saying? Because people be relating to that, and you know, fashion is like an expression of how you feeling anyway. So that's really what I be trying to tap into when I be, you know what I'm saying, creating, coming up with my ideas and shit like that. So a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, emotion, like rich type shit, you know what I'm saying, like getting rich, motivation type shit like that.
So this new line you about to drop it's off of, the inspiration is off of motivation.
Yeah, emotion, motivation, yeah. Like, you know, shit you go through. Alright, so like shit you go through, like, feel me, relationship shit, whether it be good or bad, and like just how you feeling, like you feel like you need to run that shit up, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that, like.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask, I might get in your business a little bit, but if you are heartbroken, how would you picture the design for that?
Like, I love never, or some shit like that. Yeah, so like some shit like that. I did that shit before though, but yeah, like shit like that.
Now, before we wrap up, what advice would you give to a young designer who is on the verge of quitting?
Yeah, like you just gotta focus. You can't focus on like, I tell them like, you can't focus on who don't fuck with your shit. You gotta focus on who fuck with your shit and like keep catering to, you know what I'm saying, what they fuck with, and pay attention to what they fuck with and what they don't fuck with, you know what I'm saying? And just, you know what I'm saying, just keep going in that route to whatever direction that they fucking with. Just keep doing that shit. Keep staying consistent and like, you know what I'm saying, stay motivated. I would say like about like balancing outside influence when you working and shit like that.
How do you do that?
How do I balance that shit? I be seeing patterns and shit. I just try to like, if I feel myself getting inconsistent, I be like, nah, like fuck outside, like I'm finna lock in, like, you know what I'm saying? If it's too much going out and not enough coming in, you feel me? That's when you like,
have you ever like partied way too much?
Yeah.
Have you ever partied too much?
That's what I'm saying on my hiatus, like I was low key, I'm like, man, I'm finna let this shit die down. But I wasn't just in the crib letting that shit die down. I'm outside, like motherfucker, outside, like outside way too much. So it's just like, I bet, like.
Hey, but when did you feel like you was getting too much outside?
When like shit started feeling the same, like, damn, this shit felt like the exact same last time when I did come to this, you feel me, club or whatever, like, this shit feel too much the same. So it's like, you be needing to like, you feel me, just like get that shit a break a little, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I feel that.
Hell yeah, you be outside. I mean, you can't burn out. That's one thing about it.
That is the quickest way to burn out too, like popping
Especially
out outside.
in the A, what?
Okay, can we talk about it, like for real? You going out, when I first moved out here, I was outside.
Yeah, like you can't burn out, like hell no. Cause it's cool, like I like the feeling of people like being not surprised, but just like, you feel me, like when when your presence like make a motherfucker feel some way, I like that better than like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you expect it or something like that. So yeah.
I completely feel that.
For sure.
Period.
For sure.
And before we officially wrap up, do you have any last words or shout outs?
Shit, shout out to everybody who support. Shout out to everybody on my team. Shout out Max. He got his brand too, Max Emily.
Hey.
Yeah. So shout out to, you know what I'm saying, everybody that help out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that support, everybody that like a picture, comment, share. buy, you know what I'm saying? Tell a friend, like all that. Like shout out to y'all.
Permanently scarred if you can't tell, girl, I've been hurt inside. I'll find a way to keep getting paid and see my